I got 2 boys, Walker. There are elements of manhood that I'm intentional about planting seeds with, even with them as a young age. That's me setting the expectations for my guys to develop as men. And that's just one aspect of it. Is it fair to assume that the mother has a similar responsibility with her daughter in this case that we're talking about now?
100%. This is Caesar Walker, the cool, calm, collected one.
And I'm Ronnie Gatry, the emotional one.
And we are the Tipping Point Podcast, your source for the black male's perspective.
Tipping Point Podcast.
Okay, so if that's the case, and we know, we're thinking about the masculine software, which has to come from a man or the father.
Well, not just the man. He plays a part in it. He contributes to it. But a lot of that masculine software can come from the mom.
I'm listening, Walker. You have my attention.
Well, again, let's just use, for example, a woman growing up in a single parent household. Mom has to be who?
She has to be mom and dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even right now, there's a sister I was talking to, and I told her, I said, you need to be mindful of how you talk to your son, because she can't fight him, she can't intimidate him. The only thing she has is to yell.
Yeah.
Right? I said, you need to be mindful of how you talk to him, because you're training him what type of woman to respect. The only type of woman he can respect is a woman who yells at him, bosses up at him, disrespects him. That's not good for him. And then when he grows up and some young woman disrespects him, you're going to want to put hands on that woman. Don't set the stage now. Right? If that's not what you want, you got to come up with creative and constructive ways to get through to him, and it can't be this brute force. He shouldn't be getting that from you.
Right.
Right? And again, that's where the father comes into play. He provides that structure. She's really not equipped. So in order for her to step into that role, what does she have to become? Masculine. And that's not her natural position. It don't even look right. Doesn't even look right.
Right.
The kid doesn't receive that. But it's something about the father when he steps into the room and he speaks sharply to them. Something about that,
That's a fact. Yeah.
It falls right into place.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's his role. That's what he does. It's amazing. She's designed to nurture. That's her role. And what's happening is when I say that women are getting that from women, you're picking up traits from that woman who's in survival mode. The mom's just trying to survive, and you've picked up some of those traits along the way, because again, what else do you see?
Right.
What other examples are you seeing?
That makes a lot of sense, Walker.
What other examples are you seeing, really? That's it. This is how a woman. There's nothing to challenge that or count. Society's not telling you, right?
Right.
They're too busy telling you a boss bee.
True.
Right?
Okay. Let's push the envelope.
Okay.
Giving it to me through the lens of a single parent household. What about when there's a mother and father present?
I think there's a lot of variables in there.
Okay.
Depending on the dynamic between husband and wife.
That's
how
fair.
Healthy that situation is, it can go a lot of different ways. Is that man the man in the household? Or is he submissive? Is he being respected? Right? That can kind of shape the dynamic, just for my wife. Her dad was the man of the household, so she expects me to be the man of the household. That's easy enough. But there are also just different nuances there that she expected that we had to come together and work out and talk through.
Right.
Right? I give an example, like her dad was really active in the household, right? There was times where he would be home with the girls because of his job and whatnot. My dad was a truck driver. He was gone 12 hours a day. He come home, what energy? I got to get up in 6, 7 more hours to do it all over again. I'm eating. I'm going to talk to y'all for a little bit. I'm going to bed because while y'all sleep, I'm back up at it. So for me, even though I don't work 12 hours, I had a thought, I'm just gonna come home. I'm done. Because that's what mom did. Mom handled everything. So what I'm saying is, and I don't know if I'm rambling, but when you ask me about a 2-parent household, it depends on whatever the dynamic of that household was that shapes your idea of how a man and a woman interacts. That's why I say whatever's being modeled for those kids have a way of shaping their expectations and view of the opposite sex, as well as themselves.
Gotcha.
And it's so subconscious. It's such a subconscious thing that happens. So let me slide that envelope even further over. Okay.
Because we talked about this. How does this shape your approach
to my daughter?
Yes. And just give me something. Give me something.
It's put pressure. Again, it goes back to the basics for me. It goes back to identity. Who am I? What's my purpose? What's my purpose as our father? And what is the end game from her? What do I want from my daughter? What do I want her to have? Do I want her to grow up with a positive attitude towards men? Okay, so how do I ensure that she has a positive attitude towards men? I gotta be hands-on in my relationship with her. Gotta be hands-on with her. And I have to be opportunistic. And I'm not gonna be perfect. I already know that. I'm not gonna be perfect, but what my intentions are, Gatry, I want her to see how a man is supposed to love God, number one. I want her to see how that man is supposed to love others as a result of his relationship with God, number two. And that spills over into how I relate to her mother. The honor her mother gives me back as husband and leader of the household. That should be cemented in her head, that the respect she has for her mom, the respect she has for her father, and to see those two people come together and work together, see them forgive each other, see each other help each other, see each other do that, that shapes in her mind, okay, I'm supposed to respect my man. I'm supposed to respect my husband. I'm supposed to trust my husband. You know what I mean? Those are things I want her to catch. And for me, me and my wife are good. So it ain't like I got to start working on this. But I think for her, there's a level of intentionality, because before no one was watching us. So I could have an off day and it just be me and my wife. But now I got to be on my P's and Q's because I have a camera follow me now with her. So for me, that's imparting things into her, spending time with her. When I make that time for her daily, those are opportunities for me to just speak into her life, encourage her, help her, show her that I'm there for her. But a lot of what she's going to observe is just how I carry myself as a man. Gotcha. Day in and day out.
All right. That's real. I gotta think about my brothers now, Walker.
Okay. This is another place we picked up.
Right. How can we equip our brothers with what they need to know when handling the situation, when they're on a date and they're sitting across a table from a woman with masculine
here's something. So here's something I shared with you. To expound on when I said dig deeper, I was vague at the time. Here's what I shared with him, Black, when we were talking. And this kind of opened his eyes to what my point was. While I think that a woman not knowing and understanding her value, although it's symptomatic of a lot of issues in our society that I laid out, the big question is, I said this, but I'm a expound, is her attitude about providing value to a man. Does she want to? Does she even see that it's important? Or is all the value directed this way towards her? Is there any reciprocity in this situation? What is her attitude? And what I've learned is that if a woman has a positive attitude, if she's agreeable, if she's teachable, she wants to learn, she wants to grow, she really wants to make this work, you can teach her anything. And you're going to have to teach her as it pertains to your purpose, because she's not going to know your purpose. That's why you're the leader. But what kind of attitude does this woman have about value? Or does she think is a bunch of crap? Right?
Right.
Well, you got your answer right there.
Right.
Check, please. Execute the exit strategy ASAP. Because you can't do anything with a woman who has a poor attitude or just thinks that it's all about her.